Welcome to The Leader's Edge, where we celebrate leadership and shine a light on the visionary leaders shaping our future. Hi, I'm HR Huntsman, founder of The Leader's Edge, creator of the Leader's Edge Performance Engine and Leader's Edge University. I am thrilled to bring you stories from leaders who are making a difference around the world. In each episode, we champion the innovative strategies, courageous decisions, and inspiring journeys of those who lead with purpose and passion. So whether you're looking to refine your leadership skills or you simply want to be inspired, my friends, you are in the right place. I can't wait for you today to meet Kristen Hans. She's a seasoned business leader, 25 years of global and international experience. She specializes in e-commerce, business system consulting, and technology-driven solutions. Over the course of her career, Kristen has gained extensive expertise in wholesale distribution and the tech industries, demonstrating a keen ability to navigate complex matrix organizations. What I love so much about this conversation with Kristen is her resilience and her strength. Just a few weeks before this interview, 6 weeks, her family experienced a terrible tragedy when her husband, the patriarch of the company, unexpectedly passed away. Heartbreaking. Today, Kristen carries on her husband's legacy by leading his traffic and safety wholesale business. As a new female business owner, Kristen will apply her years of global business experience to take her husband's business, LED lighting solutions, to new heights. The company's mission is to make Dennis proud by continuing his legacy, so his light will shine on. I can't wait for you to hear her inspiring story. So thank you for joining my conversation with Kristen Hans. Kristen, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be on the show with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you have quite a story to share. Female business owner, entrepreneur. You have a lifetime of leadership behind you. Let's go back to childhood and we'll catch up to where you are now. Back to childhood, your leadership journey. Go back as far as you can remember. You like to lead things. Tell us about that story.
If you ask my sister, she'd probably say I was the bossy one. But yeah, I was the oldest in my family. Just always tended to take the bull by the horns and I always felt the responsibility to take charge. I think it started with my little sister always being around and I was always in charge of her and taking care of her. And then as I started to grow up, teacher would ask, oh, who wants to do this or help here? And then of course I'm always the one raising the hand or in the front row. I'm that person. But yeah, it just started there and I think it's just a natural trait that I was born with.
What other clues would we have seen, like in high school or college or life, where you stepped to the forefront and took charge?
It's just in college, I always tell the story that I was undeclared for the longest time, and they had a position that was the head of the undeclared department. Who even does it or participates in that? But we were responsible for setting up job fairs. That's what we were trying to do. So people could figure out what they wanted to declare as a major. So I did that, and of course in my sorority, I started I got in a few positions, ended up being president of the sorority, right? And so always just, again, wherever I was involved in would just naturally gravitate towards leading and taking the lead just as a natural instinct.
Now, how did that play out in business? So let's say you're an adult, you're out of school now. What did that look like now as you started your business career?
So as I started my career, I worked in corporate America and tech for many years. And started out at the bottom of the totem pole, like most people do, but very quickly moved up the ranks. And it was regional manager, and then it was North American manager, and then it was global manager. And so just always escalated for me. Just because I think I was a really hard worker and just could see the vision and had the ideas, and I wasn't afraid to implement the ideas. I think sometimes people have ideas, but they don't execute. And the execution is what I think sets people apart.
That was going to be one of my follow-up questions. What sets you apart? Like, why do you rise so quickly in everything you do? What is it about you? So hard work, maybe some proactivity there. What else would you say?
New ideas. I'm not afraid to try new ideas and think outside the box.
So you got some gutsy...
Yeah, some gutsy things that make sense and just, I think, would improve things. So I go for it. Why not? What do you have to lose, right?
Yeah. When did you start your own company? So you went from corporate America to entrepreneur. Tell us about that jump.
So my husband was always a natural entrepreneur, and that was just in his DNA. And I was always a conservative one where it's, oh no, I like my corporate America. It's very structured, like I know what's happening, right? And he's, no, we just gotta try this and do this. In fact, one day he came home and said, I quit my job today. I'm
No.
like, what do you mean you quit your job today? And at that time, I was working in the .com industry, and it
Okay.
wasn't the most stable of industries at the time.
Okay.
And I'm just like, are you crazy? And we just had our first mortgage, brand new to just bills and everything. And
Okay. Kids yet?
no kids yet.
No kids yet.
But
All right.
he didn't think twice and just did it. And sure enough, he was successful at it. And not too long thereafter, I joined him in that business as well.
Okay.
And so we learned how to work together. There's always a funny story where he came into my office one day and was, as long as you execute and do what I say when I say it, we'll get along great. I'm like, yes, sir, no problem. But it was funny. We just made a really good team. And so he was always the face, I would say, just had no fear when
Okay.
it came to risk.
Yeah.
Where I was on the back office side, just a little bit more structured and calculated and making sure operationally everything was in line and check mark, right? And that we were leading in the right direction. So we were a good yin and yang that way.
We work with a lot of family-owned small companies at Leaders Edge.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to husband and wife teams about working together? What's the magic? What's the secret?
Yeah.
What's the trick?
I know. I think the most important thing is just respect each other, and you're in it for the same reasons, right? And I think that's just working together. We were just literally a team, and we've always been that way with our
Okay.
kids, with life.
Good.
We just worked as a team. So as long as I think you can build that true teamwork atmosphere, I
Right.
think it works great.
Now, what was that first company?
So it was a business consulting for software,
Okay.
ERP implementations.
Okay.
Microsoft has an ERP platform, so we
Sure.
consulted with businesses to make sure their implementations went smooth and all of that. Yeah.
And what'd that lead to?
Well, lead to a very successful company for 10 years.
Okay.
And then it was time to exit. And so he sold that off and decided to move on to something bigger and better. Unfortunately, at that time, he had some challenges with his father being sick. And so had
Okay.
chosen to go back for a little bit to spend time with his dad before he passed, which
Okay.
was a blessing. It was the best use of time
Oh.
that he was able to do. And during that time is when he actually met with his brother on a new business idea, a new venture, which
Okay.
is actually what we're doing today.
Okay, tell us about that.
So it's called LED Lighting Solutions, so LED-solutions.com.
Okay.
And we essentially sell traffic management and safety equipment. So things like flashing stop signs, flashing crosswalk signs, push button systems, solar lighting for either big construction jobs, pickleball courts, homeowners associations. That's essentially what we
Okay.
sell. We have an online presence. And then, of course, we sell through distribution as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why that industry? What about that? It's very different than systems.
It is very different than ERP. Ironically, we used to always say, because we would do ERP for so many wholesale distributors and manufacturers, we're like, we just know the wholesale business so well, we should go into it one day. So we always used to say that. And then sure enough, he got this opportunity to go into wholesale distribution, and so here we
Okay.
are. But it really stemmed from the time when his dad was sick and he was back home with his brothers, and his brother had
see.
started a sign business.
Okay.
And his brother was more on the, I would say, labor side and implementing big signs for high schools and colleges and billboards and things like
Okay,
that.
okay.
But my husband saw an opportunity to take different type of signs, like traffic signs and such, and start to push it more online and have the online presence. Because
Okay.
many of the, I would say, those in the industry today still do through rep sales. And he saw the vision for an online opportunity.
I see.
And so that's what he really wanted to tackle.
Okay.
And yeah.
Talk to me about the nitty gritty. I've started 2 companies of my
Yeah.
own. I've worked with dozens of entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
startup companies. Talk to me about the nitty gritty of building a company from scratch. What'd you do? Where did you stub your toe?
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy rodeo.
It's not.
It's not an easy rodeo. Here's the thing. You have to be comfortable with passing up on a few paychecks, right? For us initially when we started this, I still had my full-time corporate job
Okay.
in order to balance.
So some cushion there.
To balance the cushion and to make
Okay.
sure that any profit he did bring in, we could use it to buy more inventory.
Okay.
So I would say the first year was really focused on reinvesting that money into inventory till we
Okay.
could get to a point where we had enough sales from inventory to start to pay
Okay.
a paycheck.
So
right?
give yourself a cushion. Give
Give
yourself
yourself
something
a
to fall
cushion.
back on.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So
all
that's
right.
probably the hardest discipline. It takes a lot of commitment and focus to do that. But that was something we knew we had to do to get
Okay.
to this point, right? So we did that. And then again, back to the fearlessness. My husband was fearless and he got on a plane and went to China. He had no idea what he was doing, but he figured it out and found some great suppliers and manufacturers that we could work with that were willing to work with us. Even though we're not manufacturing here in the U.S. 100%, his hand is in the manufacturing and really trying to improve a lot of the products.
Okay.
And within time, we're looking in the future to hopefully expand into manufacturing more and assembly more in the U.S.
Okay, good. Talk to us about the ramp up from startup. You had to forego a few paychecks as you reinvested in inventory.
Yes.
How long, again, nitty gritty for all those entrepreneurs listening, how long before you made a salary? How long before you were able to pay yourself?
Yeah, we really probably held it out a little bit longer than we had to, but we went
A full year.
Yeah. But at the time, we were very fortunate because me still working, I was able to help manage it. And in the meantime, I'm helping him on the back office side with the marketing and the website and the photography for the products and all the busy operational stuff that needed to happen.
And to all of our startup listeners, that's not uncommon to go a year before you're actually making a decent profit to replace your salary that you may have left in the corporate world. So
it's just like investing, right? You have to have the vision to say, okay, this is a long-term play, a long-term strategy, but it's going to pay off tenfold once you get there, right?
We talk a lot about betting on yourself.
Yes,
you're
there's
betting
a lot of
on your. What is it about you and your husband that you bet on?
I just think it's the fact that one, we have a vision, and two, we know our work ethic. We're not going to give up.
Okay.
Right? And I think it's very easy to give up. And I think that's when businesses fail, is because they make the conscious decision that I'm going to give up and not just barrel through it.
Yeah.
You have to have the grit to there's going to be bad days, and you just have to say, I got to step up and power through those bad days.
And maybe they didn't have enough planning like you and your husband did to finance that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How long ago was that first year?
Oh, it's about 10 years ago.
That was about 10 years ago. So been in business now.
Yeah.
This business about 10 years. You recently went through a big change.
Yes, very large life change.
Talk to us about this heartbreaking change.
Yes, big change. My husband's been really leading this organization for many years and very proud of all of his hard work. He basically grew it to have 2 warehouses, close to 20 employees, and a very good profit at the end of the day. Unfortunately, he passed away earlier, really right around the holidays, 2024. Very unexpected, 52 years old, young, one of those very active runner types, right? Did the Spartan races, was a CrossFitter, what we thought was fairly healthy and in good shape and youthful, ice hockey player, all of these things. And the morning of his passing, he was running on the treadmill and seemed to be in great shape and doing fine. And then later on in that day, I unfortunately found him already passed. It looked like a massive heart attack, just out of nowhere. And I have a 15-year-old son who's also an ice hockey player, and dad was coach. And then, of course, my 18-year-old daughter who made the decision actually to come back and move back home to help out in the situation. But it's been a very difficult journey for the family, but it's also been a difficult journey for the business, right? Because his staff were like family, or our family, and looked up to him as a leader. So it's very difficult for them as well, right? There's a lot of uncertainty at the get-go. Our leader's not here. What does that mean? What's going to happen? Yeah. And even though I was always part of it, I was more behind the scenes. I wasn't the face day to day, whereas he was. Right. We had a long conversation after this, myself and all of his leaders, managers of the company, and we said, we're going to continue his legacy. We have to continue his legacy. He would just be besides himself if we didn't do that. He invested so much of his heart and soul and time and energy that we got to carry it forward. So that's our plan, is to carry his light forward and continue with LED lighting and gonna grow it even further. So
when you first shared this with me off camera as we were preparing for this, I was emotionally just stunned for a second. This is just at this recording, this is just 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, very fresh.
I can't imagine the listeners listening to this right now trying to imagine what it's like in your position, now a single mom, 2 kids, running a business, trying to continue this legacy of your husband. Right. What's the curve been like, the learning curve to step in those shoes now as a solo leader? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. I'll be truthful, gripped with fear.
Of course.
At day one. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I? What am I? I
can't imagine.
Fear goes through your head.
Sure.
And then the logical side of me started to say, okay, take a deep breath. Calm down. What would he want me to do? How would he want me to react? And he was the most positive person on the planet. Oh my gosh, just like overly positive sometimes, and chipper and cheery, and he's one of those 4 a.m. guys, right?
He's that
Who's
guy.
Just jolly and is on the treadmill at 5 a.m. One of those. I was just like, you know what? Dennis wouldn't think twice He would expect me to get my ass up
Okay.
and power forward and power
Okay.
on and take the team with me. And so we had a big heart to heart with the team, and it was essentially that. Listen, guys, we're all in this. We're all a family. We all feel the pain, and we all want to carry it forward for Dennis. They're in it. I'm in it. We're all in it. And so here we are at the show.
Wow. What have you seen? I imagine, as I can picture the guy that Dennis was, this
Yeah.
energy, positive,
Yes.
motivation, courageous, we can jump off cliffs together,
Yes,
dude.
totally.
I imagine your team is probably, we are with you.
Yes.
We're with you. We're behind you. We're going to fight through this. What
Yep.
have you seen in them? How have they responded
Yeah.
to this?
It's been really amazing to see not only just the heart that's going
I
out,
bet.
and how like just very communal and supportive everyone's been, but also like their leadership. They're stepping up a lot more than I expected, which has been
Yeah.
great, right?
Good.
It's, oh yeah, this is how we handle this, and I'm fine doing this. Don't worry about this. And so it's been really great to see that they just have stepped up, really.
That's a testament to what you and your
Yeah.
husband have built.
Great people.
You lead differently than your husband
Yes.
does. So
Yeah.
tell me about your learning curve. What's going to be called out of you as you're
Yes.
now the principal?
Yes. I think that's the hardest change for me, is the fact that I know that he was a very just high energy, high just impact person, right? And so he could very easily come in a room and rile everyone up and before they're all running a mile with him, right? Whereas I've always been the type of leader that tends to be a little bit more hands-on and much more pragmatic and
Okay.
much more, I would say, analytical with the data. I come from corporate America,
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm a report-driven type of leader and all
Okay.
of that. So I'm trying to manage the two to say, listen, I can't be this corporate-y leader that I've been trained all my life to be. I
Right.
need to be, a positive leader like he was,
Yeah.
right? And find ways to really connect with all of them in order to help really inspire them
Yeah.
to do their best. And that's really what I'm trying to do.
How will you, do you think, I know you're early in this journey,
Yeah.
how will you step into that more vocal, positive leader, but remain authentic to who you are?
It's a balance. It's a balance. I think what I've been doing of late, I've been saying, like, this is my experience and what I've seen. Here's what I'm seeing here. How can we bridge the gap? What do you guys think? And so I'm really trying to put it back on, hey, what's your input, and continue to try to cultivate their leadership, because
Yeah.
they've shown great leadership.
Right.
And so I have faith in them. It's just, I
Okay.
think, can we do a little bit of this balance between, okay, here's from my experience is this, and from your experience
Yeah.
is here, and how can we merge the two into what's going to be the best path forward?
Okay.
Because we've had conversations where it's not going to be the same. It is going to be different.
Okay.
But let's merge the two worlds together and
Okay.
find the best of the best. So that's what we're shooting for.
So it sounds, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like obviously Dennis was this charismatic,
Yeah.
alpha male leader
Totally.
that everyone loved to follow, where
Yeah.
you might be more collaborative.
Yes.
You might actually bring the team their ideas out that they may not have shared as much with
Yeah.
your husband. Is that correct?
Yes, and I think too, women tend to be this way, and I'm definitely that way, probably because my motherhoodness, if you will,
Sure,
is
sure.
just that nurturing element,
Okay.
right? Wanting to teach, wanting to coach, versus that strong male leader. At least that's always how I've been
Yeah.
in my leadership roles, and it seemed to be effective for me. I've
Uh-huh.
always had great teams. I've always had good success in my leadership. So hopefully they respond to it in a positive way, and we can make some good things happen.
I'm seeing across all of our clients across the country that collaborative leader
Yeah.
is a new vision of the leadership model.
Yeah.
We're seeing it work powerfully, especially with the new generations like Millennial
yeah.
and Gen Z. They
Yeah.
want to be included. They want their voice to be heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that collaborative model might be really great for
Yeah.
you going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, so many individuals in your team have great ideas. And I think sometimes ideas get stifled because they are scared to speak up,
Yeah.
or they have such a strong leader they're afraid,
That's
or
right.
whatever it may be. It's, no, all ideas are good. Let's just hash them out and see what makes the most sense.
Very good.
Yeah.
Tell me about the kind of person you want to bring on the team as you're going to grow your team.
Right.
What's the kind of, we work a lot about culture and team development and
Right.
training.
Yeah.
Tell me about the ideal team member for your team. What does
Yeah.
that person look like?
Yeah, I think especially in this new age, and I know of AI and of all the new tech and ways of doing things, I think it's going to be important to have people who are open to
Okay.
new ideas,
Okay.
who are creative in their ideas, who aren't afraid to try new ideas.
Okay.
Because I think that's what's going to differentiate companies going forward.
Yeah.
If you try to continue with the as is, always been, you're going to be left in the dust.
That's right.
Especially with the onset of AI and all the tech that's
Yeah,
coming
that's
out.
right.
So we really need to have kind of more visionary people with great ideas who aren't afraid to execute.
And and why would that person come to work for you?
Ah.
What sets you apart?
Good question. The one benefit in a small business is you get your hands in everything.
Okay.
Again, in my years in corporate America, they want to really keep you in a lane.
Yeah.
But when you're in a small business, you have the opportunity to learn everything about a business, which is, I think, makes you as an individual more well-rounded.
Very good. What is on the horizon for you? Obviously, this loss is still very fresh.
Yes, yes.
What's right on the horizon 2025 for your
Yeah.
company besides moving past the loss
Yeah.
of this amazing leader?
Yeah, a lot of grieving, of course,
Wow.
has been my forecast,
Sure.
unfortunately. But trying to take the grief in a positive way. I see a lot of things on Facebook and different areas around grief, and tends to be a little bit more negative. And it's like we really need to start to look at grief in a way where let's celebrate the love, let's celebrate the
Yes.
happiness that we have, and
Yes.
find a way to channel that in a positive way.
Good.
So the goal is to channel this as much as I can into the future of LED lighting solutions and to really grow the business and make him proud. That's really what's on my mind, is to
Very
make him
good.
proud, carry his legacy forward, and never forget.
Nitty gritty, you talked about doing some more manufacturing in the States.
Yeah.
Besides that, any product lines, any new
Yeah.
services or
Yeah.
ideas that we can promote?
All of the above. Right now, I really think there's great opportunity in solar lighting. We have started quite a bit of it, and especially at the show, we've seen quite a bit of more interest. I think for the longest time, people have been hesitant on solar lighting. They thought it wasn't strong enough or powerful enough, and I'll tell you, these lights are amazing.
Okay.
They're as bright as can be. We have them in a pickleball court. It lights up the whole court perfectly. Perfect. You can see great.
Yes.
So I think solar lighting is going to grow even further. I think there's great opportunity there. And I think a lot of the traffic signs and things that we're working with today is transforming the signs into being solar powered.
Okay.
And so we're going more in that direction too. So we're really trying to, continue with that green energy concept, the new renewable energy, and I think that's going to be a future direction that's going to grow even further.
What
Yeah.
advice would you give? I know we're running out of time. What advice would you give to a young lady just coming out of school or maybe wanting to transfer out of the corporate world like you did and they want to start their own company? What advice would you give that young lady, young man,
Yeah.
as they begin their careers?
Don't let fear stop you.
Okay, very good.
I would say for years, and I think one of the reasons I wanted to play it so safe in corporate America for so long was because of the fear of just doing your own thing, of venturing out, of being vulnerable. It's just don't let fear stop you, because it tends to halt a lot of
It
people.
sure does. Kristen, thank you so much for your time. I'm in awe of you.
Thank you.
I honor you as a business owner. We champion business owners. I think small business owners and leaders are the backbone of America.
They are.
You especially been thrown a curveball.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you and the kids, and
Thank
we wish
you.
you the very best.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That's it for today's show. Thank you for joining us on The Leader's Edge. I hope today's conversation inspired you to lead with even greater purpose and passion. My three big takeaways from my conversation with Kristen are, goodness gracious, that lady has been through so much in such a short amount of time. So number one, listen, you never know what life is going to throw at you. Her heartbreak has turned into a passionate mission. She could have just folded up and walked away and led an entirely different life. But she has stood up when her company needs her. I'm inspired by her resilience and her strength. That leads to number two. Surround yourself with people who will support you when you need help. I love the way her team rallied around her, picking up the pieces after Dennis's passing, supporting her, stepping in when needed, stepping up in responsibility. So surround yourself with people who support you when you are down. And number three, live for something bigger than yourself. Goodness gracious, life is short. It is beautiful. It's sacred. Make sure you're living to leave a mark on the people around you. Listen, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. I'd love a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more leaders just like you. Stay connected with us on social media for behind the scenes content, leadership insights, and updates on future episodes. Don't forget to check us out at yourleadersedge.com and follow us at Leaders Edge Podcast on all major platforms. So until next time, keep pushing boundaries, keep leading at the edge. I am HR Huntsman, and we'll see you in the next episode.